Welcome to Raising the Flipping Bar, the go-to podcast for aspiring and seasoned real estate investors. I'm your host, Derek Marlin, and I'm the CEO of Elevation. We're a real estate investment company based right here in Denver, Colorado. We'll dive into smart investment strategies, market insights, and essential tips for scaling your real estate ventures. Whether you're making your first investment or your 100th investment, this podcast is your blueprint for success in the ever-evolving world of real estate investing. Get ready to elevate your real estate game and begin your journey with me. Hey investors, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode. It is August of 2024 and it is here. The NAR lawsuit settlement has officially changed the quote unquote, I'm doing some air quotes here, way that we're doing business. And I think the cool thing about this is we've been trying to head this off the minute that news was announced months ago. And I've actually had a number of my guests give us their take and their information. And so what I want to do today is give you the top 5 tips from some rock star real estate agents and real estate investors to help you kind of navigate this unique and crazy time in industry. So let's jump into today's episode. Here's tip number 5 from my solo episode. Again, kind of where my mind goes with this is twofold. One is that from my understanding, half of the people that have real estate licenses don't even use them. They don't even do a transaction within a given year. So I'm kind of throwing those folks out from this study and kind of where our feelings lie on this one. I'm really leaning in on the other 50% of brokers. And then of that, typically 80% do less than 4 deals a year. It's just all putting context to it. So I really want to talk to the folks that are doing this full time, the folks that are professionals, and then the investors out there that are working with these agents and really how do we reframe a challenging market and a challenging environment. I'm going to go back to my buddy David Goggins, and he has a quote and it says, "Pain unlocks a secret doorway in the mind, one that leads to both peak performance and beautiful silence." And really where my mind goes with this is you've got to be able to lean in to challenges. You have to, again, callous your mind, as he says, and you have to be willing just to do hard shit. I mean, I think that's just something that people are looking at when we do interviews. And when I'm also working with other investors, we're trying to talk to people and find out, are they in a point of crisis? Whether it's a midlife crisis, and there are things that are going on in their life. It doesn't have to be age-centric, but just kind of a crisis so that they don't know whether they're coming or going. We want to be there to help people, but I can't help everybody. So you got to kind of be careful. Are you in a midlife crisis? Is it something that you need to find a way out of and get the help that you need? But from a professional standpoint, you can also be in a mid-career crisis. So there's a ton of people that talk to us and come in and out of real estate investing. They come in and out of being a real estate agent or a real estate broker. And you got to use this as your inflection point and your time of change. And yeah, maybe a brokerage change might be the catalyst that you need to kind of set your career on the path to success. The other kind of crisis that we see is a mid-market crisis. And I think we're in absolutely the middle of that as well. If we kind of look back to middle of 2022, when interest rates shot up in a crazy short time period in a very aggressive manner, it obviously put the housing market to kind of a screeching halt for a little bit. It's since kind of clawed its way back, but definitely prices are still down in a lot of markets. They're flat in a lot of markets. There aren't quite as many buyers out there because we're still in the 7% range for interest rates. And so these are definitely things that we're really looking at and we're taking into consideration on how do we model our business and how do we specifically come up with the people that we want to work with to hopefully succeed together. Tip number 4 is from my interview with Adam Wiley.
Absolutely. Surprisingly, if you read the news and talk to a lot of agents, they're going crazy, but this is going to provide massive opportunity for the right type of agents to actually succeed and move forward, especially with our business model. So we are a more recession-proof business model when the market is at 7.5% interest rates, while we're getting way better deals for our investor clients. When it's Q3, Q4, and we're able to negotiate commissions when we're working with buyers, well, why not ask for 4% if the average days on market is high enough? So really being able to adapt is going to be of the top importance right now. And it's going to flush a lot of agents out of the industry that are not skilled, and it is probably for the best overall.
Down to tip number 3. This is my interview with Slabough.
In this harsh reality, And that is where we're at on this NAR thing. We can have hope that July will come and everything will get worked out and all be fine. Don't worry about it. Let's just see what happens. Or you can recognize the harsh reality. Things are going to change. I need to be ready for that change. I need to deal with it now, the harshness of what this could be, and start planning for it and maneuvering so that when it comes, I'm ready and I'll deal with whatever it is, because I'm still going to be in this business. I'm still going to be an agent. I'm still going to have hope that this goes really well, but I'm not going to ignore the harshness of it.
Tip number 2 is from Tabitha Bartel.
So the beautiful thing about this lawsuit is that it seemingly is changing everything. And then at the same time, it's really only changing one thing, which is that those co-ops are not going to be listed in the MLS anymore. And coming from a seller's point of view, sellers were never required to pay the buyer's agent anything, right? Like it's always, commission has always been negotiable from the beginning of real estate through today. And so I think the beautiful piece of that is that if your mindset is that it's always been negotiable, it will continue to be negotiable. And my job is to help my buyer buy a house or my seller sell that house. What's the best way for that to happen? It might still be, and I predict that it will still be, in the seller's best interest to offer a buyer's agent, a co-op, to help that buyer get into that property. And so if that seller really wants to sell, that money, that net number can still be the same. It's just, where is it going to go? Is it going to go in the list price? Is it going to go in that buyer's agent co-op? How is that going to work? And that is the thing that I think will shift slightly. But overall, buyers still want to buy, sellers still want to sell. And it's going to put a little bit more work on our hands. We have to do a little bit more due diligence. I don't think it's a bad thing also to do the things that we've been conditioned to do. In Colorado specifically, we've always been told to get that buyer agency agreement signed before you're out looking at properties, right? So will that be good for us to stay in compliance a little bit more and not wait until we're putting an offer in? Absolutely. So I think for us and for our team, we just had a big team meeting on this on Tuesday. Everything in life, there's so many truths, right? But my truth might be different than your truth, but we can be given the exact same information. And the way that I deal with it could be different than the way that you deal with it. And that's what makes a solid agent who's going to be in the industry for 20, 30 years versus a lot of agents that are going to get out of this because they don't have that same mindset. We all have the same opportunities. It's going to be the way that we handle it. And I think it's good to have more transparency with our clients as well. Yeah. So I don't necessarily see it as this horrible, horrible thing. I think also it's going to help us as agents to communicate between the buyer's agent and the listing agent far more. And to get that information out there right away is also going to be helpful. Are we going to see some weird workarounds? Are we going to see some stuff? Of course, that's always how this happens. I think the shakeout is going to be prevalent for the next 2 to 3 years. And so we'll see what happens. But for us, it's about educating our agents and just being really prepared.
And our tip number 1 is our episode with Stephen Pilkington.
Yeah, fantastic question. So first of all, I think everybody in real estate needs to have a time where you work with somebody and then you continue working with them and then they buy or sell a property without you. I had that happen with somebody from a leads group. I legitimately showed her over 100 properties over the course of like a year and a half. And then she walked into an open house and went under contract on that open house because the agent convinced her if she didn't do it right then and there for the short sale that she wouldn't get it. And fast forward, she didn't even end up getting the property, but I missed out because I didn't have a buyer broker agreement in place. I was just shopping with friends because it's easy to shop with friends. Like it's a lot easier to sit down with somebody and be like, let's go look at properties. Everyone loves that. That happened in 2009, pretty early in my real estate career. So I've been adamant about sitting down and doing a buyer broker agreement with my clients. And because we always search for off-market properties, we have to have in there that the buyer is responsible for the commission. Otherwise, we can't negotiate it in the contract. So when NAR announced this, I kind of chuckled because in my mind, it's going to get rid of a lot of the what I lovingly call the mercenaries in real estate who like They're like, oh, neighbor, you're going to sell your property? Well, let me activate my license again and I'll help you. No one would do that if you were getting like a surgery or if you're going through like a major legal battle. And you would always want a professional who was very professional. I also work commercial real estate and have for years. And in the commercial world, like the largest deal I ever submitted an offer on was $34 million. And they were offering exactly zero commission. It was when multifamily was really hot and they didn't have to offer any commission. And so back in 2019, 2020, I was already working with people saying, hey, here's a breakout of based on the price point. This is what you're going to owe me. I'm going to do everything I can to go after this money. Yet this is what you're going to owe me. The reason you're going to owe it to me is because here's all the services we're going to do for you. If we get on the same page, awesome. What's funny is as a real estate broker, we are one of two people or one of two industries holding out there where you only get paid if everything goes the way the client wants, or at least the client agrees to it, and then they sign off on a product. The only other industry that does that is class action lawsuit attorneys. As brokers, we make on average 2 to 3% per deal. Class action lawsuit attorney makes 25 to 60% of whatever they win. So like Frank Azar, he spends 20, 30 million on marketing a year and makes well over 100 million on cases of a couple hundred million they do for their clients. And so this is what I tell people out there. Systematize your value and really present it to people over and over again. Don't do it in the form of just a waterfall. Just piecemeal it out over and over. Give them something and then tell them what's next. We are in the business of next. Our value is helping people get comfortable and understand what's coming next. So the more you can document all of that and then give it to people in a way where they can digest it, the more likely they are to really see your value and then actually want to work with you and refer you to other people, even if it means that they're coming out of pocket to pay you. And then the final piece of that is make sure you understand how they can pay you if the seller refuses to. There's very few scenarios where a broker can't negotiate that payment in. And so make sure you know those scenarios. Hint, low income, down payment assistance, builders offering nothing. It's really hard to get paid on those. Yeah. But for the most part, you can negotiate that in. So from my stance on this is an opportunity for those of us who are professionals to get a leg up. This is an opportunity for those who are not professionals to figure out their true passion in life outside of real estate. Yes. I do think the only downside to this is that I do think that there are going to be a lot of folks out there that feel empowered to do it on their own and end up having a very negative experience. I bet you in the next 12, 24 months, we're going to see a lot more lawsuits happening. Yeah. Historically, at least I think this is, if I remember Damian Cox correctly, he's one of the heads of the contract board for Colorado. He said that about 90% of all real estate transaction related lawsuits are from single representation, where one person, whether it was the person being represented or the other person not being represented, they felt like they got wronged. We don't allow dual representation. So you either have to represent one and treat the other one as a customer, or you can do a transaction broker where you represent the transaction. Make sure you're super clear on what that means for your people and then follow it.
Okay, I know that was a lot of information. Hopefully you guys have a ton of different takeaways from the NAR lawsuit settlement. Please come back, re-listen or re-watch this episode a few times. And again, stay tuned. This will not be a one and done type of series or theme within Raising the Flipping Bar.
We really want to learn more from you guys and build our community. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys on the flip side. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Raising the Flipping Bar. If you found value in our insights and stories, let's keep the conversation going. Connect with me on social media and be sure to share this episode with friends or colleagues who might benefit. Your feedback and reviews help us grow and reach more listeners like you. So please, if you enjoyed this episode, leave us a review. Thanks again to the Elevation Academy for sponsoring today's show. If you're interested in learning more, click the link in the show notes below. And remember, every property tells a story, every deal brings a lesson. Keep reaching for those goals, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for listening and watching Raising the Flipping Bar. Just a basic overall disclaimer is that A, this is not legal advice. B, this is not tax advice. C, this is not financial advice. I hope you get the gist, but I'm obviously not a lawyer, not a CPA. Hell, I'm not even a real estate agent, actually. But in general, we hope you get a ton of value out of this, but there is a bit of a disclaimer. Please consult a professional if you have any questions whatsoever. Thanks for tuning in.